Hey everybody, it's Blasted Sash episode 196. I was playing with my phone and wasn't paying attention what time it was. What, Mike?
196.
Not a 196. I got called out for being a little too juvenile last episode. I got accused of being...
Who'd you get called out by?
Somebody I know in my real life world. Not anybody in his household, but he's like, man, that was some pretty... Your inner 13-year-old came out a lot. Accused of being high, accused of being drunk, whatever. But that was a fun episode, I thought, last episode.
We read comic books. Yeah, we're a little juvenile. What's going to happen?
So 196. This is the first time catching the show. What we do is we buy comic books that come out Comic Book Wednesday and Tuesday. And we give them a read, and we blast the books we hate. We stash the books we like, and we go over reviews. So be careful. There are spoiler warnings. Where's my little spoiler warning? There it is. Spoiler warnings. We do talk about plot points and end of the book, so just to let you know. And like I said before, warning, some viewers may find our following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised, so be advised on that. We definitely go off on tangents about fetishes and all that weird stuff in between or whatever pops in our head. How the fickle is the Hicks pickle? Is that from that picture that I posted in our group chat? Mike's going to come up with some interesting facts this week for us. I think he's got a whole bunch going on. Double S said, yes, let's do this. Michael, what up, Huey and Joey?
What's up, buddy? Hey, Double S, good seeing you, buddy.
Before we jump into the books, we always like to tell people to go over to Patreon. Check us out over there. I've been trying to get those prize boxes out. So I have 2 books going out to 2 winners, as well as some other random books. I got to get them shipped out. My goal is to get them shipped out by the end of this weekend to our Patreon supporters. Do I have a picture of the books that are going to be given out? I don't think I have any on here right now. Definitely go over to our Teespring page. You can pick up stuff like this, our Thunderlust shirt or the Pocan Joe shirt. I got to work on Mike's shirt. I think I got a picture for him. I think it's in our background there.
Hey, I got an idea for a shirt.
What's that?
You want to F a shark?
Want to F a shark? Is that Mike's new thing?
You want to make sweet love to a shark?
Let's talk about what we've been watching and what we've been doing.
You go ahead, Mike.
So,
start us out.
I finished Warrior Nun. Great show. Spoiler warning. It is just going to end, and it's going to piss you off. But hopefully there's going to be a season 2. Like I said, I liked it. That night I finished watching that, jumped right into what's the movie?
Old Guard?
Old Guard. Brilliant fucking movie. Absolutely loved it. Was on the edge of my seat the whole fucking time. Probably my pick for comic book movie of the year so far. Then I think it was the very next day or that night, Cat Ran Figures. Shout out to her, got a hold of me, and said you should check out this show. It's called Shark Lords. I said, all right, I'll do that. So I found it. You can find it on Hulu. And I said, all right. The little picture there is a shark in a ball and gag. I said, all right.
Wow. Okay.
I said, so I started, and it starts off all serious about a couple of researchers. They're sitting on their catamaran research boat, getting lectured about a particular type of shark. And all of a sudden, the one guy turns to the camera. It's filmed like a documentary. Shark Porn for Michael. It's filmed like a documentary, and he goes, "All right, let's go find the shark and fuck it." So the whole whole premise of this show is these 2 guys. They're extreme sports guys. They've done everything. They climbed Mount Everest. Jacko just popped in here. They base jump and all that. So what's the next thing? To fuck a shark. This show is dumb. It's fucking stupid, but goddamn, it'll make you laugh.
Sweet love to a shark.
Go check out Shark Lords on Hulu. It's good family entertainment.
I'm going to watch it tonight. I wouldn't say family. Oh, yeah.
What about you, Joe? What have you been watching?
So I'm still watching the Stargirl thing. They're dealing a lot with the Golden Age and early Silver Age. Like they're kind of playing with that. Super cool stuff. Mostly I've been kind of focusing my time on something else for my channel, my little secret project I have in the background. Been kind of working on that, and I've been back to exploring different types of beers. Tonight I am enjoying Riot that has snake eyes on it. This is a Virginia brewing company. This is a hop, and it has snake eyes on it. And when we saw this at Casual Pints, I was like, boom, gotta get it. What does that say?
So Lots of Trash and Fat Grandpa and Joe Pocan support fictional terrorist groups.
No, that's G.I. Joe. That's the Snake Eyes one. I was going to bring that one up later.
No. You have a Cobra mask.
You gave it to me. I was being polite.
And what's that? Hail Hydra?
Yeah, look, it's no secret I like villains. I have a yearly contest that celebrates villains.
If I hold up these signs, you can't argue with me about them. That's the rule. Just go with it.
I was not made aware of these rules. I apologize.
All right. Dave, what have you been watching?
I've been kind of going back and watching some older movies. I do watch a couple newer ones. I watch Vivarium. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
I haven't had that done yet.
You haven't had that done yet?
No.
It was
It's a good
my
movie.
wife and I watched it. You liked it?
I thought it was okay at best, but I was just surprised that you would watch that. Like, I'm more surprised.
Oh, I thought you said vasectomy.
No, that happened years ago. Vivarium. It was just my wife and I both like, oh, that's an hour and a half we're not going to have back. You know, so
It's weird.
yeah, it was really weird. It's more like they said it was like a Black Mirror episode, kind of. Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of Black Mirror. I watched All Nighter. That's a fairly new movie with the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson, and he's trying to find his daughter that's missing, and he's using the help of her ex-boyfriend, who's kind of a awkward guy. I rewatched Dark Knight Rises, watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith, watched part of Broken Arrow. What a horrible, cheesy movie that is now. I tried watching that. I Googled
it though. It has Nicolas Cage in it.
No, it
To me,
doesn't.
it's more animated than anybody I've ever met.
not Nicolas Cage. John Travolta, Christian Slater are the two main characters in that one.
Oh no, I got them mixed up. You're right. Yeah, correct. Yes, sir.
So those are the movies I've been watching. Just kind of like I'm folding laundry or whatever. Let's just put Broken Arrow on and just kind of have it on in the background watching and just realize how cheesy the movie is. What's that?
I did watch the Bloom Brothers. I don't. It's kind of a awkward movie about con artists, and it doesn't have. It's probably not as mainstream as it should. I actually use clips of it in my own video that I launched today. But great con artist movie. It's called The Bloom Brothers or The Brothers. I'm sorry, The
Brothers Bloom. I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's been a while ago. Yeah, Mike, go ahead, please.
Today I watched that new Todd McFarlane documentary.
How was that?
It's a Todd McFarlane documentary. Shows how many fucks he does not give, and you guys, we've been doing this long enough. You know all about Todd McFarlane. So, but it's only 45 minutes. You find it on YouTube.
We're the same age as him. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, right about there.
We're
Yeah.
the same age.
He might be a little bit older, I think.
No, he's in his 40s.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the early 40s still. Getting closer to mid 40s, but early 40s. I'm still holding on to that. So let's go ahead and jump into the books in this week. Who wants to start us off? Anybody? Bueller?
One thing,
Douglas
Douglas just hit the comment with Joey. Is Flash Jay Garrett reference in Stargirl continuity with the rest of the CWDC universe, like Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. So it should be, it should be, but translation, right, is going to dictate. And I can go very long on this. I'm not going to because I know a sign's about to come up. So it should be because that should be the character. I don't think they're trying to go that route with it, and nor do I think that's the focus with it. I would be paying more focus to the swordsman and the Black Knight role with the janitor and kind of figure out who that is. That's the focus right now. If you have those comic books and you're a speculator, that's kind of the focus right now. Because once that pops, that's just going to provide momentum.
Okay. Mike, you want to start us out, or Joe? Either one of us? Either one of you?
I think
I
Joey
just
needs
talked.
to.
I'll talk about a blast if you guys don't want to talk about it. I'll start out with my blast of the week.
Something.
I'm going to go blast something, and I'm going to blast X Factor #1.
Thank God.
Yeah, you should.
I don't know if anybody else read this. Apparently,
No.
Mike, his reaction is saying yes. Huey prefers a steak to other kinds of meat and potatoes. That's a reference to. I sent a picture. You know how if you go to Instagram, you hit the search menu, all these pictures of everything. A lot of them is women, and here, right in the middle of all these women, there's a big piece of steak. I'm like, what the hell is that, dude? Why is that there? Okay, so X Factor #1. Apparently, Mike read this one. We got a new team, and their whole focus is on now. We got North Star. His sister died, and he wants to get her resurrected. But they're saying, we need to have proof of death. There's no proof of death. There's no body. We don't have anything. We can't help you. And so he takes out and he goes to try to find what happened to her. He finds her dead body. And now they've been tasked with the job of they're the team that looks for the missing mutants to prove death or prove they're missing or whatever to be able to get them resurrected. What a turd this was. I mean, I never have read anything with Dakin in it at all. Is it, hey, pronounce that Dakin?
Yeah,
Dakin. Yeah, the Wolverine's son. But apparently he's bisexual. I guess he's always been bisexual.
Nope.
According to Wikipedia, he was bisexual in a few other titles.
Nope.
So
not in the original run.
Maybe not in the original one, but other books that they have hinted on his sexual orientation. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? It's kind of caught me off guard. But really, we do not need a book based on a team to find missing mutants. This is my blast of the week, and this is garbage. So,
do that, motherfucker.
So, Mike, how about you? What do you think of X Factor #1?
I love the X Factor, the original X Factor, where they work for the government, blah blah blah. You know, the old original X-Men. You know, even as it got in the later issues, where like when Polaris was on the team, it was still good. But this was crap. I thought the saving grace would have been Dakin, Dago, whatever the hell his name is. But all he wants to do is stuck the bellboy there, and you know.
Yeah.
So this is. I'm gonna throw mine too. There we go. Fuck that book. That is my blast of the week as well.
That's mine too. Joe, what about you? You read X Factor #1?
No, I knew better.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot out this week, and it wasn't even on my pull list. I thought, dude, they have a copy. I might as well get it and check it out. Samuel Davis in there.
Notifications, but I'll be honest with you. I read the first issue of that when it came out, the relaunch, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know who these people are. I'm done."
So the whole X-Men thing going on right now. Okay, they changed everything up. They all live on Krakoa now. Blah blah blah. They can resurrect. Go Balls could resurrect them. Okay, but there's so many fucking titles right now. There's Marauders. They got X-Men, blue, silver, gold, red, pink, orange, fucking the Exile. I don't know. I stopped picking all
But
of
the
them.
Marauders was good at first. I don't know what's going on with these, and I don't mean to cut you off, and I apologize. But it sounds like they start these stories off in this really good premise and like some really good stuff's going on. And then after issue 6, they're like, we're going to change expectations. And like, it just, I don't know. Do you always see the same thing? It's like in the X-Men little world, it's like after issue 6, it just seems like it's, hey, you need to understand that people have these feelings. And I'm like, yeah, the majority of your comic book readers are adults. We understand this. What?
I just
Do you
I
all feel
wanted
the
to go
same
back
way
to the
about
way it
this?
was.
Is it just me?
No, I just think it's getting oversaturation with X-Men books. I mean, that's why we didn't have X-Men for a long time, right? Or that one get cut off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now we're just inundated with X-Men books. And it's like, God, you don't oversaturate the market. Let a good story go. Don't need to throw out every single X-Men story out there just to have X-Men books, So
It's fucking horrible right now. Like I said, I don't even pick them up, and I love the X-Men. The Chris Claremont shit back in the day,
Oh, that was good stuff.
but
I even like who's on it is still Hickman. Hickman's Powers of X and all that stuff was great. It just seemed like it was such a great, powerful story, and now it's just a rolling turd down a hill. It's just horrible.
have you ever
When
seen
she said,
roll down the hill?
again, I've calculated. It's issue 6. It seems to fail in this stuff. It just gets bad.
Yes. Okay. Since Mike and I read that book, Joe, you didn't. Why don't you give us your book?
Let's go with the only DC book that I read this week. All right, and this is weird. And I accidentally bought 2 of these because I thought I was not paying attention. I fell for covers. But I do like this cover. It's a great cover. So this kind of plays into classic DC storytelling where we're dealing with a super smart ape, and it's not Gorilla Grodd, it's humanoid. And I had to do or ultra humanoid. Had to do my research real quick because there was a time in comic books where I didn't read about this character. So basically, a crippled guy puts his mind in a gorilla, and he's kind of fascinated with this whole being strong thing. The problem is he has a problem with Batman and Superman, hence the title. He has a problem with him because he's super, I don't know, narcissistic. He thinks brain should win over brawn or brawn should win over brains. It doesn't really matter. It's classic DC storytelling where somebody has a problem with somebody that's stronger than them and really hates somebody that's smarter than them. So it's narcissism at the end of the day. I got to take a break and read this. Blast it. Blah, blah, blah. Mary Jane gives better web than Aunt May. That's weird. All right. So we're talking about DC book. Super really cool book. And I think it really expresses how, you're dealt certain cards and maybe you should be envious. And when envious becomes nihilistic, then now you got a problem because then you start doing really stupid stuff. So in this, Humanoid actually puts a bomb in Batman because he's super smart, wants to get rid of him, but he also wants to take care of Superman, who's super smart, and he thinks, or super strong, and he thinks he doesn't fit in this world, and he constantly has to prove himself. So that's super good writing. Nostalgic, kind of corny, but it's what DC knows, and DC can do it well. This was a stash for me.
How about you, Mike? You read that book, Batman, Superman?
I did not. I apologize for my actions.
I didn't read it either. What do you got for us, Mike?
Oh, there he is. Davis Comic Finds is dropping in for just 1 minute, and he's actually timing it. So he says, "Howdy, fellas."
Well, thank you for the 1 minute. We definitely appreciate that.
That's all I could last anyway. So
That's like honeymoon night, isn't it, Mike? That's not even like on a Tuesday after Taco Tuesday.
No, it's more like prom night.
I went to 2 proms.
You did. And he says, "Okay, I'm out." I don't know if it was the prom thing or what, but
he actually don't like us. He just
Why would you like it? I don't know. It don't matter.
Okay, Mike, give us a book. Talk about some things.
I'll talk about some things. Let's do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2020. You got Leatherhead on the front there with Krang infected in his belly there. I found that quite odd. I didn't understand that, but they tell you why inside this book that you should be reading. So basically, in this one, the Rat King is trying to persuade Shredder to become evil again. And Shredder's like, "Fuck that! I'm not doing it." He's got a good life now, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes and tries to persuade Shredder's daughter, who is now in charge of the Foot Clan, if you're not reading the Turtles. That doesn't work out too well. You find out, I don't know, I must have missed something in the main story. Krang's actually a parasite brain, not just a normal brain. So he could, like... He could, I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
He could take over somebody's body? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Something like that. Lots of backstory in this one I didn't get. But it seems like Rat King is gearing up for something, a war. And if you guys haven't been reading Turtles, Splinter's dead. The Turtles are all separated. So we'll see where it goes. This is my Whiskey Dick issue, by the way, which is not a new thing, because I can neither blast nor stash this book. So it's right in the middle. Can't quite
right
get
in the
there,
middle.
But
so what's Shredder doing now? So he's not a bad guy. Does he work in one of those restaurants where they cook in front of you and cut shit up and make like little volcanoes out of onions and stuff like that? Or what do you do?
That's racist.
No, I'm just saying he's got this unique skull and claws that it might make him a good for that. I'm like trying to find work for him. Just want to make sure he's making it. No.
Whatever, man. I know what we're doing next week. Mike, y'all down for some cheddar?
I like when they feed you the sake.
Oh, I love sake. Warm sake.
Yeah, I bet you do. Okay, I'm going to talk about a book. I'm talking about an Image book. I like this series when it came out. It was on hiatus forever. And all of a sudden now it's back. And that's Black Magic by Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott. Nicholas Scott, I like her art quite a bit. Very, very good, strong art. Her character's drawn well. Let me find a page here. That's a great example of some of her art here. Give me a second. But in this story here, so if you don't know what Black Magic, she is a cop but a witch, and so she's trying to balance those two. Like here, see, there we go. There's some Nicholas Scott meat and potatoes for you, Mike. I just did a little cover so I don't get.
A little post-it.
Yeah, no, I mean full on, straight on nudity. Unhealthy position with Nickelback. I do have an unhealthy. So in this here, she's the main character now is broken up with her boyfriend who is a detective as well, and that relationship strained in the police station. She's trying to find her footing again in her personal life and professional life. They're investigating a murder, and they think it's a gang murder. They do find somebody else near this rival gang. He's not willing to talk, and she's interrogating him. And finally he gives it, yes, I did it. I killed him. And we find out too that she had actually cast a spell on him to confess. And so I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like it's not nearly as cool as what I thought it was. I mean, I was really looking forward to this book coming back, but I'm not. I think I was kind of okay with it being gone. So it's a blast for me. I think I'm picking up the next couple issues, but I'm definitely going to be dropping it for sure. It's weird that it stopped on issue 11 too. That seems kind of odd number to stop on, but it's about witches, so I guess that's why it'd be odd. So, unfortunately, Black Magic is a blast for me this week. Anybody else read Black Magic from before at all?
Yeah.
What did you think of it? What did you think of it before?
Yeah, I blasted it. I did it on this show.
Did you? I don't remember you were that well. That was a while ago. Okay, moving on.
A while ago. Yeah. After issue 1, I was like, it seemed kind of pretentious to me. Mm-hmm. I didn't really like the characters in it, and I found there's no arc in it. It just seemed like a very flatline story.
Yeah. Now we're back to you, Joe, on what do you got next?
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. What's going on in Empire? So I got this weird one per store party variant. My comic book store collector or owner knows that I like rarity, and he saved this for me, so I picked it up. Got it at a super good price. That should say something. However, I will say this, and I don't know if maybe I'm just weird, but I think I might read comic books slightly different than other people, because people have been bashing this story, and I'm trying to figure out what am I missing that they're getting. Does that make sense? Like I'm trying to figure it out, because this seems like to me a very great story. In this particular issue, we find the burden of leadership in this, and I really like this. As a leader, if you lead something, I don't care if it's military, I don't care if it's corporate. I think my dog's choking. Settle down. Die quietly. I'm sorry, that was weird, but we're live, so we gotta address it. Back to the story. I'm not really sure what people are missing in this, but I'm finding this book interesting because it deals with things that aren't normally expressed in a comic book, like the burden of leadership. If you're a leader of anything, I don't care if you're a president or CEO in a corporation, nonprofit, even if you're a business owner, you can never win. You're never on top. You're always making the wrong decisions because it's perspective. Dealing with the people of, oh my God. Dog, I swear to God, I'll choke you myself. But the problem with this is people don't generally get that. So when you read like in a comic book fashion, you're going to get, oh, he's making bad decisions. It seems very simple. Good and bad things happen throughout a decision, and it kind of echoes. So I don't think people are giving this it's just due, or maybe they're looking for something different. I'll go with that. Generally, I look for deeper meaning in a comic book, and this is giving me what I want. So I'm not just liking it. Like, we're dealing with things like figureheads, people in charge, just to have somebody in charge. We're dealing with maybe the people that support you aren't really who they are. We're dealing with backlighting, back politics. We're dealing with that stuff in here. And sad thing about it is most people don't find that stuff interesting. But the moment you're in charge of something and the moment you're involved in something, you see these things happen. And it's really cool to see it in a comic book. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not skipping Empire because I think the story's bad. I'm skipping Empire just a little boycott of Marvel. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, dude, we don't need. I mean, we've talked about it before. One event book after another, and it gets to a point that's like, come on, dude, let's just have some. you know.
I'll be honest, when it comes to the tie-ins, and not to cut you off, but I want to be clear on this. I'm going to read the main line, the main vein, and I'll probably break off to a couple of the offshoots from it. Like I have a Captain America. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm not reading the X-Men line from it because I've dumped X-Men because whoever's writing it now is horrible. So I'll kind of dive in and out of it. I actually have the Savage Empire because I loved Savage Avengers. So I'll kind of dive in and out of it as the weeks go through and just kind of pick and choose. But the main storyline, I like it because it's great examples of things. I like examples of things because old metaphors don't work on new metaphors. New metaphors express. And this is a good example of if you're a leader and you're put in a position, you need to understand the position. And people don't. People put in positions are not understanding it. And I think that's a unique concept. I'm not saying it's a good story. I'm just saying these are good examples. So for this week, it's a whiskey dick issue for me.
There's
Go ahead,
an
Mike.
event right after this one too,
That's the Venom one, right?
I think, and then right after that, there's another one I saw in the previews.
I
Let me
got
go
the
get
Captain
it.
America and the Savage one.
Oh,
and we'll talk about those in a minute.
X of Swords, X-Men.
And there's another one too. Hold on.
So the reason I'm doing, like, if Empire was its own single story, now they've been tying in other titles for a long time, since clear back to Secret Wars, right? But to me, it's like, okay, I would be reading Empire if it was its own story, but not tying all the other shit into it. I mean, I know you could probably get the gist of the story without reading the tie-ins, but still, it's just, to me, it's just like, okay, I'm getting irritated by this.
Let's talk about tie-ins for a second. Can I kind of break from the norm and bring
Go
up
ahead, break from the norm.
All right, let me break from the norm. So I'm going to bring up two books real quick. Let me grab them because I keep everything laid out, and I did not plan for this. So let's talk about these two books right here. This is the Captain America Empire, and this is the Savage Avengers. These books are connected. All right. So in Captain America goes to Fort Myers, which is right outside of Virginia in the D.C. area, and this is in Mexico. Captain America is trying to convince a bunch of soldiers to go to Mexico, and the higher ups got a problem with it because you got to make big government bad people. Whatever. I don't care about that. I like seeing a classic Captain America story, and this is what this was. This was utilitarianism. When you deal with Avengers Savage, this is Kantianism. So they're there, they want to fight crime, damn everything else that goes on. Captain America has to convince a bunch of people to walk away from the military, which we're not even going to get into that. But it was a classic Captain America story with, hey, we need to think about everybody. No trade, no lives. We need to protect the world. And then we got Conan and Venom down in Mexico taking care of the problem. So these comic books are connected to some degree. I think this is an important storyline, these two, more so than the X-Men story that I read the synopsis to. Now, mind you, I'm just basing it off of synopsis that I've read, and I'm making my decisions smart. So this week I bought 3 Empire stories that I think are more relevant than anything else. So therefore, I'm speculating.
Yeah. Oh,
They're good stories.
legitness, Mike.
Hold on.
You want to talk about anything else, Mike? What's your next book, Mike?
So real quick here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 X books going on right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Darth Vader #3. Something good that Marvel's putting out right now. Anything
Nice.
Star Wars. And this one, we're continuing on with Vader. He's on his quest for revenge against everyone who hid Luke from him. And he's teamed up with, I can't pronounce her name, Sabe, Sabe, Sab, S-A-B-E. She was Padme's former assistant. I think she makes a quick cameo in one of the movies. And Saab wants to avenge Padme. Vader also wants to find out the truth about what happened to Padme as well. Basically, they end up back at Naboo, and they run into Typho and Tanra, the security guards that were in the movies as well. It's actually really one big trap for Vader because they knew all the time that Vader killed Padme, and they set a big trap for him. So, and that's where this issue ends, and it's fucking amazing, and it's a stash.
I think I remember reading the first one in that series, and I thought it was okay. But
So everything right now in Star Wars is taking place during Empire Strikes Back.
no, okay.
The first volume of Star Wars, well, not the first volume, but the last one, was taking place during A New Hope. So when this Vader ends and Star Wars ends, it'll probably do one with Return of the Jedi as well. So, but it's some pretty good stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about an indie book, another one by Scout Comics. Mike, did you know that troll poop? If you want to be a good farmer, you need to have troll poop because apparently that helps the fields grow, according to this book here called Grit.
You know what helps my fields grow?
And what's that, Mike?
Fucking a shark.
Fucking a shark.
I'm gonna
So this is Grit by Scout Comics. So basically the story is there's this character. He's known in the area for kind of taking care of the weird stuff. It kind of reminded me of Hillbilly a lot. If you read the Hillbilly series by what's his name? He's writing Venom right now. Donny Cates.
Donny Cates.
Yeah, no, not Donny Cates. I'm sorry. It's Eric Powell wrote Hillbilly, not Donny Cates. So if you read Hillbilly, he's this kind of guy who goes out and fights monsters, stuff like that, and that's what this is. So this farmer guy, he's pissed off because somebody cut the head off one of the trolls, and the guy's like, "I thought you had a troll problem." Because I do. I haven't seen a troll in forever, and their poop is like magical. It keeps my fields green. So that's one interesting fact we get from this. And so the guy's out there trying to find the trolls, and we find out that another group of people in the woods have been killing the trolls and sacrificing him to the great god, hoping to resurrect this big, I don't know, it's like a big blood blister type thing. But then comes out of the ground, they actually resurrect him. He comes in and starts killing all like the druid people who have been killing these trolls. And our main character is trying to fight that big blood monster as it goes. So if you liked Hillbilly, I think you would like Grit. It has that same kind of fantasy feel. The guy has a hatchet and a machete, and those are the only two weapons he uses to fight these trolls and everything else. So pretty good gore in here. Like he's slicing the faces off the trolls when he gets attacked. Let me find one here. Like there's cool panels up top there. Slice them down across the face, down. So I would say Grit is a stash. I liked it. It was kind of a quick read. Art fit the story very well. Again, too, if you like Hillbilly, you'll definitely like Grit. So it's a stash for me.
Nice.
What about you, Joe? What else you got? What do you got going on over there?
I'm gonna pass to Mike, and I want Mike's awesome
No.
Connecting.
Here. Talk about the book because I didn't really care for it, and then we'll go into.
Okay,
The
we'll do that. So Spider-Man rolls into the Sin Eater. So we were bamboozled with Sin Eater number 1. All right, it was a dream. I hate dream stories. Dream stories are just the worst. I hate that. I think that's a cheap way to tell a story. But then we lead into Amazing Spider-Man number 45, where we find out the dream came true. Well, yeah, we could have guessed that. Like, at this point, you're just stealing cash from us. Whatever. The big question is, what is Kindred? What has Kindred got to do with all this? What is the big deal with the centipedes that kind of surround him? What is all this? If you're a Spider-Man reader, please tell me. If it's not Kindred, what is your fascination? Because the witty documentary from Peter Parker is not happening in this story. I did like this, though. I'm not going to call it a stash. I'm going to call it a
Whiskey Dick.
issue. Yeah, it's a whiskey dick issue. Because we get some character that nobody cares about called Overdrive, which was in the dream. I didn't know much about him either. Did my research. Come to find out, he was in like 4 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. So he's not a big deal character. Why waste my time? But he dies in this because somebody's got to drop a body at some point. It's like a TV show. Got to drop a body. So they drop him. Not that anybody cares. Not to say he's a bad character. Well, it's absolutely a bad character. Like, I'll go ahead and say it. It's a bad concept. Basically, missing something, it's souped up, it can go fast. Who cares? Sorry, best of luck. But what is this Kindred thing? Does anybody care other than Kindred? Well, Spectacular Spider Grandpa came up with a theory. Let's roll to him.
I'm here.
Before we move on to my theory about where'd you go?
Where'd I go?
Yeah.
I had to jump into the behind stages real quick.
Huh.
I take care of personal things.
One thing I did not like about this book, if you open your books, kids, to the panel where Spider-Man gets shot in the chest with a shotgun, and it does nothing to him, and it goes right through him.
It's magic.
Goes right through him, right? Right through his chest. Then you turn a couple pages, and Overdrive gets shot in the chest, and it obliterates him. Explain that one to me.
So, that reminds me of the movie Predator. When everybody else gets shot by the Predator gun, they get their arms blown off or their head blown off. But Arnold Schwarzenegger's hit with the same damn gun and just knocks him down. Same kind of thing.
It's a Sin Eater. He's not human. It's meta. It goes after the person with the most sin at this point because he's and again, we're going to get super meta with this because that's what the writer's doing. It's not a physical bullet like you can make. It's energy, and it's going after the most meta thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
whatever.
Do you want me to bring the picture of Kindred
Bring it up. Bring it up, Mike.
Can you bring up Kindred at first? Can you bring just Kindred up?
That's Kindred right there, right?
All right, that's Kindred right there. Okay, if you look at his face, he has no eyes. He's kind of mummified. So everybody's seeing that. He's kind of got his centipedes coming off his back like that. Granted, in that picture right there, he only has 3. So I was watching a video on YouTube, a top 10 video of people who have took over for heroes and completely failed, or people didn't like them, whatever. And I came across this picture, the next one, right there. And I did never read this storyline before, but this is where Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man switch brains, and this is supposed to be Dr. Octopus's husk or corpse or whatever the fuck it is. But if you take them metal things out, he has no eyes, and you could kind of think that the centipedes are Dr. Octopus's arms. I don't know. They just look too similar. What do you guys think? It's just, I could be completely wrong, but.
Why did you want me to do this picture? What's that one?
Not that picture. I was just showing you guys how hot that cover is.
Oh, okay.
I
What do you
think
think,
Mike
Dave?
is on to something. My only, and I brought this up, we were having dinner and we discussed this. My only hang up is where does his name Kindred come from? Because I looked it up online. It's Octavius Gunther, whatever his last name is. Doesn't matter. So I was trying to figure out where the name Kindred came into effect.
But didn't Doc Ock marry Aunt May at one point too?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the thing. Fair enough.
Way back in Spectacular Spider-Man #1 something.
Early or mid 80s, yeah.
But
Although I will give
theory.
Mikey this. When he showed me the artwork, I was like, holy crap, that is
Now
why would it be so close?
my wasn't Superior Spider-Man a title going right before the outbreak?
Yep.
Did he die or I don't know, I quit reading it.
I don't know.
Well, as far as I know, I never read that Superior Spider-Man at all. I thought Peter Parker had died and Doc Ock's brain had went into Peter Parker's body, and Peter Parker was no more. So it was Doc Ock from then moving forward as portraying Spider-Man. That's what I knew because I never read that at all.
Right, but the whole clone of Spider-Man
so,
thing kind of screwed all that up, and they just relaunched it.
So,
It's kind of weird.
Dr. Octopus, or the body had what looked like it decomposed. I never read it either, but it was just like a husk, which looks exactly like Kindred.
So
I don't know.
the question to the chat should be, is this a solid theory, or is just we're kind of looking at the same thing? Please discuss it. I think Spectacular Spider-Grandpa has a good point here. I mean, we know when people write a comic book, they do their research. We know this. But where are you at? Is Kindred just some sort of form of, and you know what, I'll even take this out even further. Maybe not Doc Ock, but is it some sort of relation to Doc Ock? Ooh, that would be even creepier. Where are you at? Do we have a solid theory or hypothesis?
It's Peter Parker's cousin. Doc Ock and Aunt May had a kid.
Oh, that would be even weirder. Is there a connection? Is what we're asking you, the live chat tonight. Is there a connection in our theory?
I'm verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. If you've ever seen that SNL skit with Mike Myers.
And, I'll
Like
probably
butter.
be completely wrong, but.
Nah.
I think you're on to something. I told you that at dinner. I think you're on to something. I think they're going to find some weird connection, even though we can't do it with the name. I think maybe they're going to do something where that connects. That would be interesting because if we go back, and I even mentioned this at dinner, if we go back to, we know Kindred has some sort of connection with Peter Parker. Like he knows a lot about him. Very intimate things to the point where he even knew that Osborn had some sort of relation to him because that's what kicked off that whole Ravencroft thing. Because because he made an appearance there as well. They've dragged us on way too long. I've been an advocate. Just tell us who this guy is. And they've been playing the game where they do the umbrella and then the spoke story off to the side. And it's like, just tell us who he is.
We won't find out till after.
Oh, the chat's going off now. We have sounds interesting. The remembrance of their for sure
Resemblance.
Sam. And then we got double S. I concur with Michael.
Joey's what are you drinking there, Joe? Is that beer?
Yeah, this I gave away. I drank the Snake Eyes, and now I'm on to the Storm Shadow one.
What's your drinking? A mimosa there or something?
No, it's a beer glass.
Kind of like it's kind of trendy.
No, we live in Virginia, not Oregon.
Oh wow!
Wow.
You if you come out here, we set our table. You have a nice set of country crock bowls that we eat out of every. That's our fancy ware.
Oh, dude, Mike, we need to take Dave when he comes in town to Pixels. You remember Pixels?
We talked about this already.
I'm going to tell you right now, Al is cool with us doing a live show at Pixels. Mind blowing.
We were going to interview him at one point, but anyway, we got comic books. We're almost
Bearded Compro said that's a sick can. I don't know if you're talking about what you're drinking or if you saw something else.
He's talking about this can. Ninjas. I drink Ninja beer and Viking beer, dude. I don't tell you.
I'll talk about that Texas Blood #2. The first issue ended kind of weird. I thought, okay, it was going to follow up right where the last issue ended. It's about a sheriff who's on the verge of retiring. He's just kind of like going through the motions of it. He's got his wife that's frantic at home, doesn't want him eating jerky. I want my casserole dish. Tell Betty I want my casserole dish. And that was kind of the big theme throughout the whole book. And he finally caught the guy that, caught up with the guy. His wife had borrowed the casserole dish. He committed suicide in his car, and the casserole dish was covered in blood. That was kind of how the story ended. I thought, that's kind of weird. Okay, let's see what issue 2 is about. Doesn't even talk about his casserole dish anymore. I guess that's maybe a good thing. I don't know. But this one here, this main character here, he finds out his brother had actually been murdered in the town they grew up in. The sheriff's kind of in charge of that murder investigation. Him and his brother caused a whole bunch of problems in town. He's coming back. He's a changed man. He's not drinking, not doing drugs anymore. But a lot of the town still holds a lot of resentment for his character here, even though he had kind of moved on. And he knew his brother died, but he didn't know it was murder until the very last page of the book. I don't know. I think I'd be more interested in find out how she got the casserole dish clean, really. From the brain.
That's rough.
So I think this is a blast for me. I'm not picking up
Fair enough.
any more of that. No more of that Texas Blood. Okay, what about you, Joe? You're back to you. Back to you.
Is it back to me?
I think so. No. Well, I think you started out with Spider-Man. Back to Mike. Mike was second talking about Spider-Man.
Mike, you got a book you want to talk about?
Let's talk about my pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Which is Suicide Squad number 7. I got to have my Suicide Squad books. So last issue, we find out that the whole Suicide Squad has been pardoned. Deadshot, Harley, and the rest of the new kids. In this one, Deadshot heads home. He's a free man, wants to see his daughter. She actually has something to show Deadshot. She's been winning a lot of archery competitions, and she's pretty good at throwing darts. They show a dartboard, and they're all in the center there. Finds out she wants to become a superhero like her dad, but she don't want to kill people. So she wants to go by the name of Live Shot instead of Deadshot, Live Shot. So this is the first appearance of Live Shot. It's going to be worth millions. Pick it up. Deadshot's wife is actually watching TV in the other room, and a news brief goes across the screen, said there's a big manhunt going on for the former Suicide Squad, Harley, and the kids. The FBI shows up, breaks down the door. Deadshot, he actually tries to surrender peacefully, and his daughter actually starts taking out the FBI with arrows, not killing them, shooting them in the knee and stuff. And then what's his name? Deadshot snaps because they threaten to shoot his daughter, and he goes and starts wounding. He's not killing them. He's wounding all the FBI agents. Harley and the old Suicide Squad actually show up. They now call themselves the Revolutionaries. They saved Deadshot. And next issue, they're going after Ted Cord and whatever goons he has waiting. So, good stuff, man. I know it's Toki, but here's a live shot right there. So.
Nice. So, is it a blast or is it a stash?
It is my pick of the week.
Really? Wow. Okay. Cool.
Now we're back to Joe.
Let's talk about this Lost Soldiers. Did anybody else read this?
Yep, I read that.
Okay, so let's talk about it because it's weird because it's not a comic book. Just go and tell everybody right now, it's not a comic book. This is a metaphor. Yeah, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor from the old cliche saying of live by the sword, die by the sword. So basically what you have in here is you have a bunch of young adults that go to Vietnam and they learn certain skills and they take those skills further. Right? So Vietnam infantry soldiers today, I'm guessing some sort of legal agency like DHCS or something like that, or Homeland Security or CIA. They never make it clear, but they're going to go bust out some drug cartel people. And they're playing the manipulation game. And this is, I hate to say it, it's very common. If you can hit, sometimes you have to friend an enemy to get rid of an enemy to get rid of the ultimate friend. And they kind of play off those concepts in here very mildly. It's extremely, like, you have to catch it in the dialogue. It's not very clear. I need to say this. This is a good read, and I'm going to continue reading it, but this isn't a comic book. Like, this shouldn't be a comic book. There's no superhero. There's no exaggeration of things. This is very hard line story, and it's kind of sort of depressing because we're dealing with older people, and I'm going to go ahead and say with between 65 and 75 and their younger selves, and we're dealing with that, and it comes off, if you read it in that manner, it comes off sad. Like, it comes off really sad. However, it was my pick of the week because I don't know why. It has nothing to do with the comic book thing, but I'm drawn to this story. Like, I'm engaged in this story. It has this unique way. If you were in the military, you're just engaged in this. Not the Vietnam thing or anything else, but the dialogue in this, you really kind of find yourself immersed in it. So it's my pick of the week, but unfortunately, it's not a comic book. It's just a good read. Does that make sense? Is anybody else getting that?
I got kind of of course, this is Vietnam era. I got kind of a platoon feel from it. You know, you have your good sergeant and your bad sergeant. You know, we had William Dafoe, and then you had who's the guy who played the other sergeant?
You had, the good guy, that's the bad guy, and then the good guy. Yeah.
there's a lot of that going there, and they talk about getting their prostate checked and being regular or stuff like that. So it just kind of it sets out of place for me if there are, unless it's set back a little bit in time, as in like what the current now. Like I said, they'd be 65 and up if they were Vietnam vets.
However, I will say this, and I want to make this clear. Any Captain America story, it's always there's a flashback to World War II. So really, at this point in time where we're at in history, what's the difference if you have a flashback between Vietnam or World War II?
Well, that's different. I mean, that's Captain America. He's the super soldier. He's had the serum to not age and stuff like that. So I mean, that's where this is more based in reality.
Fair.
They do talk about superheroes. They talk about Superman. They talk about being written by two of your kind. That's what he said. They're in that foxhole, and they're talking about.
Yeah, he calls him a Jew hero. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, so it is supposed to be based in real time, or the real world. But so, I mean, yeah, it just seems kind of like they're a bit old to be going out in the field to be busting the drug cartel. It seems a little out of place for that.
No, that's actually very in place so I think where most people get confused is all right, so Fast and Furious, right? We'll go ahead and bring it up. We'll probably get a couple of thumbs down for it, so I'm going to warn you now. The federal government, when it deals with agencies, it's all about alliances at the end of the day. So let's talk about a certain sect of people that are bad. But hey, you know what? You want to work with us to kind of fix things. Sometimes you have to rely on a hammer versus a chisel, and that's the best way to kind of. It's a unique situation. Sometimes you have to rely on a situation where if a certain people own a certain area, it's better to appease them, right, than go against them, because then the rest of the people go against you. I get what they were talking about in the story. My problem with the story is and I'll be honest, this becomes outside my scope because I've never dealt with a 65 to 70-year-old that still deals in operations in any way. So I get the historical knowledge of it, but like they're not running and gunning at that point. So I found that interesting. And I think that's kind of where they're tying it into a comic book, like the fantasy. And this is what we're going to throw in here. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know, maybe off base, but I like the story, but I don't think it's a comic book.
My guest, Dave, are you prepping for my lap dance? Are you talking about like right now, or are you talking about over the next couple months?
Stretch.
I've been doing a lot of core exercises.
And
Squats and core. Lots of squats. Don't miss leg day. Mike, do you read Lost Soldiers?
I did not.
I thought you had it. Maybe I watched.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay. We're running just over an hour long. Any other book?
What did you think of Lost Soldiers?
We talked about it. I talked about it. Were you there? Man, you're drinking way too much tonight.
Oh, I'm just getting started, Bubba.
So thinking of lap dances. So yes, I bought my ticket today where I'm headed out to Virginia. Plans on going to Baltimore Comic-Con if that happened. But even if it doesn't, I'm still planning on headed out there for the weekend. Come flying in on the 22nd, departing on the 26th. Then I'm headed up to New York after that for a couple days. But yeah, looking at Joe did not win any contests. Unfortunately, no, Joe gets no lap dance. And I'm not giving
Okay, hold on. I'm the only one that can take it. Hold on. What are we talking about?
I don't know. We went off spiral. We were talking about Baltimore Comic-Con and how that I've already bought my ticket and headed out there.
Look, I'm going to tell everybody right now. As of today, when I check, Baltimore Comic Con has not been canceled. However, tomorrow I am looking at Airbnb for the Blast and Stash It group, regardless if Baltimore Comic Con happens. So if you're in the Baltimore area, or if you just want to come down and hang out with us, we're going to be in Baltimore. We're going to be in the downtown area. Hey, guys, we're going to do live shows. We're going to go to some cool places. Me and Mike have been there several times. I have connections down there. Hey, guys, we're going to have meals. We're going to have libations. We're going to have cool scenery. And we want to know if you're coming. So definitely,
James Ellsworth
if
might
something you're
show up
thinking
again.
about, let us know.
Okay. Moving on to lightning round. What books you got for your lightning round, Joe?
All right, so I'm still behind The Boys because The Boys reminds me of the old. It's got the old classic storytelling in it. We got Fate Thor in here. He's a snitch. He's even missing an eye now. Imagine that. A lot of fun stuff going in here. It's getting into the diary of Billy the Butcher. And there's some bullshit that nobody cares about, like how Huey and his girlfriend are living in Scotland. Nobody cares about that. But we're getting a lot of interesting side stories here and there. I'll be honest with you, it's a good read. It's funny. And with everything going on TV, I'm not saying it's going to make money, but I'm going to say it's going to probably kind of relate to it. So you may want to read up on some of that stuff. I'm going to tell you my stash of the week. I didn't bring it up in anything else because nobody else read it. Spider-Man Noir. I like classic gumshoe stories from the 1940s, and now we kind of threw an Indiana Jones twist into this. This is good reading, especially if you like Sin City, where they do the whole black, everything's black with the red highlights. The art in this is beautiful. It makes sense. I really enjoyed it. And I kind of like this more than I like the current Amazing Spider-Man story, to be honest with you. That's it. That's all I got.
What about you, Mike? What do you got in your lightning round?
I also read Spider-Man Noir. Aside from the art, I think this book sucks. One cool part, though, the Electro at the end. I really like his From This Earth's look from 45, something like that. But I'm gonna blast that. And this book actually came out last week. It's Win #2. I am still enjoying this, so this is a stash as well. That's all I got. Oh wait, I do have a bunch of books I haven't read yet from past weeks. Murder Hobo, #1.
Murder Hobo.
Engine Ward. What is this? Engine Ward? Yeah, Engine Ward. Haven't read that. Yasmin Bleak. I still haven't read Year Zero from #3. Dave's Monkey Book Zero. Hollow #1. Bliss #1. And No Heroin. Heroin. Heron #1. So.
Monkey in a mech suit.
Monkey in a mech suit.
I don't even know how to say that anymore.
What's that? Not allowed to say that anymore.
Funny. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, Joe, you're going to get us banned. I picked up, so there wasn't a whole lot of DC out this week. It seems we've all picked up something different from DC. I picked up Wonder Woman 759. I got that pretty cool Jim Lee cover. I wanted to pick it up because, one, there wasn't a whole lot of DC, and two, was a new creative team on it. First appearance of Liar Liar, I guess, in here. Max Lord makes an appearance in here as well. The art, I love the art in this book. It's pretty good. I think they do a great job on Superman. Diana's starting a new life working for the government, and she's moving to a new apartment, but they end up going to what's the place my wife loves, that store that's all the Swedish furniture.
IKEA.
IKEA. Yeah, so they go to IKEA type store. But I think this artist does a great job on Wonder Woman. I like how Wonder Woman is drawn. Very iconic looking. Who's the artist on it? Janin? How you pronounce it? Janin?
Sure. Sounds good enough to me.
Mikhail Janin.
We still can't pronounce the villains in Empire correctly, so we'll go with that.
But yeah, I think they did a great job on Wonder Woman. So it was okay. Usually I pick up Wonder Woman just for the covers, though. That's mainly it. The book I picked up, Mercy #4. I'm not sure if this is current or not. I haven't read it. I haven't read number 3, so I've got to go back and read number 3 before I can finish that one up. X-Men #10. This is again the slippery turd slope, of X-Men. Hickman's still on this, so I mean Hickman did, like I said, really good on Powers of X, but it's slowly rolling down that hill, peanuts and all.
Penis?
Peanuts.
Wow.
Peanuts.
No, I heard penis.
No. Picked up Thor #2. This is the second or third print. I picked up that. I've been picking up all of these too. These are kind of like spec, huh?
Millions of dollars.
Millions. And then I got another copy of Catwoman 23, the first appearance of Catgirl. I think that's what her name is.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, but it's another spec book. I got it for cover price.
I don't want a girl.
First appearance of Live Shot.
So that's all my books that I got this week. Anything else we want to talk about before we bounce on out of here this evening?
Hey, real quick, everybody. We're not freaking kidding with you. If you're going to be in the Baltimore area, let us know. We're going to be up there for the last weekend of Baltimore Comic-Con, regardless if it happens or not. We want to meet our fans. We want to talk comic books with people. It's legitimately all we have in our middle-aged life. So definitely let us know. Hit us up in the comments. Hit us up on Facebook. We have an Instagram. Let us know. We just want to hang out with you. We want to know you guys.
Easy there, Tugboat.
Fans?
We have a few.
Okay.
Well, you had your hand raised, Mike. Was that why you had your hand raised?
Yeah, I want to know who the fans are.
Oh, we got our fans that come in every single week. We got Double S. We got
Double
Jack.
S is pretty solid. Double S is solid.
Jackio's solid.
Sam's pretty been solid.
Yeah, Sam's solid too.
Don't forget about Gore Vidal. He showed up on a regular basis.
Samuel David's a fan. I'm a fan of Samuel David too.
And Discovery Bay likes us too.
He
We
just
got a few
says
like people out there.
You always throw something out there.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bounce on out of here. Like Joe said, we're still planning the Baltimore trip. Still planning to go, and if Baltimore doesn't happen, still planning on a weekend and having fun.
We're going to be there.
Samuel David said he is a fan. I'm a fan, so it's going to be fun. I reach out to other people that I know from a comic book community, including Drew, and make sure we're going to hook up with that guy too and have some fun. And like
that
I
guy.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That
You know
guy
that guy.
Drew.
That guy Drew. So even if a con doesn't happen, it's still going to be a fun comic book weekend for sure.
We're still comic book hunting. We're already mapping it out. It's good.
Yeah.
Plus, we got to hang out at the Green Pickle. When we hang out at the Green Pickle,
How
that means
fickle is the green pickle?
we're drinking crushes. Oh, so good. You don't even know, guys. Guys, come hang out with us. That's the Green Pickle. We're doing some crushes.
Last time we were at the green pickle, we seen a couple people die.
Yeah, bad things happen, but hey, we're there. We're hanging out.
I mean, we're still alive. That's all that matters.
Okay, so whether you blast it with a stash, happy reading, and catch you for episode 197. Closing in on 200. We're trying to work on something a little special for 200 episodes. I can't believe it's been almost 4 years. I think just over 4 years we've been doing this. So I can't believe that. That's crazy.
200. That's
so
amazing.
Because we had quite a few episodes that, when comics weren't around, they weren't numbered, they weren't part of the original one. And we also had other special episodes, some of that we've gone live with. So definitely well over 200 already, but 200 of the main.
Are you
main
guys gearing up for the Stashy Awards?
Stashies aren't for another 6 months, 5
I've
months.
been
I've been
stashing.
keeping track all the
stashing and trading.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Whether you blast it, whether stash it, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys later. Mike has stashies.
Yeah. I got them. I got them.
Later, guys.